Hi everybody, Gerone Wright here again, and I'm up here with a piece of artwork from the Renaissance era by Botticelli. Botticelli, okay, and the image is what is that? Primavera, and I'm challenged by a new friend of mine, my Jordanian friend, and she has last night has requested that I take a look at this this painting and decipher it for her. And I have I mean I accept challenges. No one has ever asked me to actually do that. And because of her, I've actually found the two of my recent discoveries I actually found from Jordania, because I actually became interested in Jordanian all of a sudden the culture, and I actually started looking at their Renaissance art, and I actually made two amazing discoveries because of her. So I'm going to return the favor, and I'm going to oblige her request and decipher or decode this painting by Botticelli. Now, in first decoding Botticelli's painting, I had to become drawn to him. So how would I become drawn to him? I would first have to look into how he evolved into the Renaissance era painting and all so forth and so forth. So I took a few hours out to go over who Botticelli is and basically really look at his art styles and what type of encryption styles that he would use, because I don't care who the artist is, they all reference the same exact thing, that how our bloodlines evolved from one state and came through to another state. That's what this is all about. I mean, if you see the bloodline starting here and coming across, evolving across, and the new bloodline is there, and then you see this guy here picking fruit off the tree, meaning the tree of life, showing you that now there's a new alteration taken on. There's a new bloodline, so they're going to taint the rest of the tree. So this is what this is all about. But I'm gonna read this artwork to you. But anyway, Botticelli, this painting, I must add, is very difficult to decode and to decipher. But yet it's easy. It's very simple. It's difficult, but it's simple. Botticelli has used multiple different Renaissance artists' art styles in order to create this painting. Okay, so what do you do in a case like this? When you look at this, none of these images readily jump out at you. None of them. The underlying images and encryptions. Like, first of all, though, I know what angels mean. I know what angels are, and I know what is happening here. You see this female escaping this angel, okay, contacting this angel. I mean, I'm not this person here, hitting this person. They're making contact here. Then you see this angel. Then you see this going on, and then you see this here. There's a chain of events. These chain of events represents the order in which genetics were transferred from this state to that state to this state, bridged here, sent out of this body in the form of an angel. You see the angel with an arrow, and it shows you the specific person that it actually hits, the arrow that it hits, and then the genetics go out. In this case, this arrow, I know for certain, is directed at this person here. Look, then showed you that these genetics are bridged at this person and then sent out. So let me show you something. This person here is a branch of these genetics, shown broken away. This person here is the initiator contact of those genetics. Okay, those genetics are taken into this body for a certain period of time, and then they're bridged off into this person here. Okay. This person creates new genetics, sends them out to here. They're bridged again, here, over here. There's a bridge. See that? See those hands coming over top of our head, showing this bridge? And then a new child is created, and then a new contamination is going on, and that's why it shows you going over to the tree there. Make sense to you? So I'm going to break it down a little bit more for you. First of all, when you see this woman is running out of the woods. when you see genetics being escaped from somewhere, you first have to know that these genetics represents that of ancient genetics, our founding genetics, which is Africa, reptilian. Okay, these genetics are shown being transferred from their black and white state. That's why you see these black wings, this white and greenish looking body, looking like this person is very sick here. This angel is very sick, because this person, this image is showing you a contaminated genetic, and it produced this likeness here from blackness. And I'm gonna get to you in a minute on that. And then when these genetics comes out, it's too close. This woman is too close, genetically close to this here. So now she is bridged again with this woman. How is this done, people? Well, it's done sexually. They didn't have, back in those days, they didn't have where they intravenously fed you the blood and all of that. It was done through the old-fashioned way, which was through contamination of genes through sexual acts. So lesbianism, homosexuality, this is how this was done. So when you see all of these guys all grouped around, and you see this in biblical times with Jesus, and now you have it in this case with well, you see it in that case with Jesus, John the Baptist, and all those guys all grouped around each other, and you're saying, damn, they look like they're, homosexual or engaging in homosexual act. People, the same statement is being said here. What's happening is these genes amongst these women are shown, taken from one state and transferred from this woman to that woman, okay, procured, and then sent off to this woman. They're bridged here, and they're shown going on. Then another lesbian act is going on. These genetics are bridged over this woman, and then a new child is born because of the strengthening of what left from over here and the contamination of these genes, which calls for the likeness of this child here. And that's what this is all about. And the only way that this could happen was through lesbian acts. Remember I told you in a lot of my earlier videos about the Vatican, of how these men, are engaging in homosexual acts. And now, if you don't want to believe it, look at all of the homosexuality that is going on with the molestation charges with these little boys and everything, with the Vatican and with the Catholic industry within the churches. It's just crazy. And then look back on a lot of the Roman history and all of that there, with these sexual acts where these men are doing men and everything else. Well, I'm telling you that same exact thing, but it's not as publicly discussed or out there, because I guess they say women keeps the best secrets. It's my position that the same thing, which I said in some of my other videos, that nuns are doing the same thing along that community, and the same exact thing is happening, and it's all being done for the strengthening and contamination of genetics, not just on that smaller scale, but on a larger scale, which actually would become the world. And then these genetics are being recycled back into that of the original state from which they came. So I'm accusing our nuns of actually being engaged in lesbian acts. That's just the bottom line. And there is paintings, Renaissance artist paintings, that lend to this, and I'm sure that there are a lot of scenarios that actually tell you about this. And once my discoveries go global, I'm sure that you will have a lot of people coming forward and saying, once they realize what is going on, because you have a lot of these nuns that don't even know, especially the younger ones that don't know, that this is a cult-like ritual that originated, pagan-like worship that originated from back in the beginning of time. Once they realize that they are not doing this for the sake of some type of divine reason, then they're going to come forward and say, well, hey, look, these people, look, they're saying we're doing this, girls, because we're engaging each other because of some cult-like ritual. They're going to start throwing their hands up and say, hey, look, this guy Jerome is telling us the truth, because we are having sex with each other in here. We're just not talking about it the way it is a bunch like the men are talking about it. We're not whistleblowers. Girls keep better secrets, but he is right. This is what is going on. You see what I'm saying, people? So once this becomes public information and I go viral and everything goes out with this, you're going to have a lot of people coming forward actually verifying what I'm telling you here. So I'm telling you that this painting is based on lesbian acts. But I'm gonna keep going here because, all right, I'm telling you that this is shown genetics. These represents genetics, black and white genetics. Okay, and through black and white genetics, this woman was created. This is what this is showing. Okay, this is, well, first we originated from ape and black man. Then from black man came white man. But it shows you that these genetics are too close of black and white. So they're broken down with reptilian, which makes him almost like green in color. Okay, this person is created. The genes are broken down here through, okay, through X, and it shows you that they're broken down within a period of time. And it shows you that all of these colors in her dress are actually representation of what actually happened here, and then broken down again. Okay, but let me show you what happened here, how they were broken down. You can barely see it here, but these are actually create angel wings, almost like a halo. Okay, and it shows you that because this is like a Madonna-like woman. Okay, and what then happened here, and it shows you the Madonna-like woman with her angelic-like baby. But look at what happened here. So, what is this a representation of? We have the woods, and we have this woman here touching that woman, bumping into. This is the woman that slows down these genetics, the carrier, right here. This is the carrier. After they escape from here, this is the carrier. These genetics are broken down. So what genetics are they actually referencing? Well, you can barely see it, but I can see it very well. If you look right here at the tip of my pencil, there's an eye, a nose, and a mouth. It shows a native woman right there, her face, a native woman with a headdress right there. And what is she doing? Her mouth is at the hair of this woman right here, showing you that these genetics were rebroken down and reintroduced by a native person, and there was lesbian act. And it shows her mouth, she's sucking on the hair of this woman, meaning that they engaged in a lesbian act to break down these genetics that began here even further, because they were recycled back in. They were bridged over now, this woman, and a new genetic was created through a child, and those genetics were actually through a lesbian act were sent to here. Now, what genetics were sent there? There's two faces right here, and it shows you how it was done. Here's the first face here. This is the right eye, this is the left eye, this is the nose, and this is the mouth. And her hand represents the snake-like going up to the mouth. See, it shows you putting her hand into the mouth of that face there. It's actually two faces. Block this one off right here, and you can see a face leaning down towards her, showing you that these genetics were orally taken. Okay, then on the other side is the same exact face looking this way. Okay, it shows you how these genetics began here, bridged over, a new genetic was made, and Cupid's arrow, which y'all thought was all about love, no, it's about shooting genetics into another body, transferred here. Then they were, through a lesbian act, these genetics were bridged over this woman right here, bridged over her, and actually weakened to a state now where a new child was created. And in fact, down here, where they're reaching down here in this person's crotch area, it actually almost shows you there is a penis, like right there. Okay, stating to me that this person right here that appears as to be a female is actually a male with female compatible genes, which actually were weakened through a genetic bridging, because there's a penis down there, and you'll see the hand when you look at it, people. There's a thumb and a hand, shows you that there's a penis right there in the corner, which signifies to me through these acts. And this male, this is a male, not a female, because the penis is shown down there in the crotch area, and it's in the lining. You can see the imprint of a penis right there, people. The head and all, the shaft, the head and all. And what's happening is showing you that this male was in close, with it broken down to the state of having more of female genes than that of male. And we have all seen those type of people as actually well before that went through this process as well, people. And then through that, genetic bridging was made, and these two made a child, and there was a child that was actually produced, and this is what was going on. Now, that's a lot to be said, and I mean, it's a lot of speculation without proof. In fact, it almost looks like I see the face of an ape right here. I wonder if that could be, because it looks like I'm looking at the nostril and the mouth and the ape, and then there's the eye socket right there. See that right there? And the angel's wing, the half face of an ape right there, and the angel's wing. I'm not going to take this, well, I do have to take this down, but right there in the face of the angel wing. All right, so how can I prove this? This looks like just like an ape to me. Right there in the angel's wing, there's a nostril, there's a mouth, and you can see the faint image of the ape right there being broken down. And in fact, I see the face of the mother of creation, so that must be an ape, because I see the witch-like woman right there in the black mass of these wings. There's the witch-like woman. There's her eye. There's her nose. There's her mouth. There's her chin coming over the head and the hair of this angel here. And then there's the ape, showing you from these two individuals, which represents the reptilian and black bloodlines. This guy was created half white, half black, and showing you how the evolutionary chain of how this individual created this white likeness, and then they were broken down even further yet, and then here they are bridged and then altered. Okay, and it shows you how it was altered, and it shows you that there's a native woman there with the headdress. Look, she's actually engaging this woman sexually, in a sexual meaning that she took her genetics orally. There's a headdress here. There's a headdress comes out that in the form of, and there's like a wing. Then we have these genetics shown over here. Look, they're coming back over. Shows her actually putting her genetics into the mouth of another individual, which includes these individuals over here. And then there's genetic bridging, and it shows that there was a child, and through the genetics, this angel, they were struck here. These genetics were placed here. There's lesbian acts going on here. This is a male figure, okay, with close hormone genes to that of a woman, which calls for these genetic bridgings and a child. There's a child, and now this child is going back to contaminate the rest of the tree and change the genetics of that of mankind, which is represented in the tree of life. Did that make sense to you, people? Now, let me give you a larger picture of what I just said, so you can actually take, but that was actually not so clear. It doesn't take much of an imagination. Remember I told you the first face? There's a left eye, there's a nose created by the leaf, there's a mouth, there's a chin. Notice the face encrypted there. Now look at this. Now look at that, almost like the male's face. Her left eye becomes the right eye of that male-like figure. Look at this here, and then look at the mouth area, and then there's a chin. When you're away from it, you'll see it more. Now look at the native woman. Look, eye, mouth, headdress here, and shows you how these genetics were taken to different locations and broken down, and then bridged from here over to here, there, and a new genetic. Let me back this off. And it shows you through the arrow. And you see a lot of arrows too in Christianity too, by the way, too, people. That arrow, those new genetics, targeted. Bang, that person there. And I don't know if you can see the imprint of that penis. Down. Can I show you that penis? There is a likeness of a penis. What's here stopping me? Let me see if I can get up here close enough to that penis for you to see. See that penis down there? I'm in there real close now. There's a penis imprint. Where are we at? Right there. And it shows you that their hands are at it. You see that? Now, you want me to verify all of this? Even the penis and all that? There has to be verification. I'm almost 19 minutes in this video. And look at that, though. Look at these faces, people, that you couldn't see before. Look at that face there hiding. Well, there's a male facing up, but look at this, people. But look at the the native woman. Look at that. Mouth out at the hair of this woman. Look at this. Look at this. would have never had known. And this is also the representation, also people in the halo, and that I haven't actually told you about, but that's a whole nother story. Let me take a sip of my coffee right quick before I start on, because this is about ready to get real good. Now, this artist, to understand him, just like Salvador Dali actually, I just decoded Salvador Dali. So in decoding Salvador Dali, I actually realized that he would utilize his art styles in other paintings. These artists, it's almost like a footprint. Before they perfected this, they would actually create another painting similar to this first, and then they would capitalize off of that to make their artwork extend from there greater. In other words, their ideas that they felt were great, they would actually make another painting of, and that's what this is. This is actually an extension of another piece of artwork that Botticelli did, and he actually just redefined it and made it more encrypted to where it was actually harder to read. Now, the painting before this would be very simple to read. Very, very simple. So, you take Botticelli, take Primavera, and then look for paintings in Botticelli's work that actually came before this, but yet are identical to it. And you'll have this. This is, what is the name of this painting right here? Botticelli's Nastagelio di Gialli Onesti. You guys figure that out, okay? Here, let me put that up here for you. And you figure what that is actually stating out. Hold on. Here's the spelling. Alright? So you can Google that and find out what is being actually said there. Look at the body position of this woman right here. You see that? She's being chased out of the woods. Now I'm going to give you the exact same scenario in another one of his paintings, which is became before easier to read. Same exact thing is being said here, people, but easier to read. Remember when I told you that these artists utilize the same idea in at least two paintings. So if you take one painting down, you can actually find another to take down along with it. In this case, it became very easy because Botticelli has supplied me with this painting as well. So this painting is more easier to describe than the one that I actually just have had, because the other one can be ruled out as being just speculation. But first of all, where's the other one at here? Look at this woman. Now I have my printer ran out before I enlarged. My printer was running out of what's going. Look at this woman here being chased out of the woods by a guy on a horse. Now, with a sword. And all this I know means genetic splicing. There's a dog biting a woman on the ass here. A white dog. Now get this, people, what you can't see. Now check it out though. The dog's foot is on a broken tree trunk. Shows you that the tree is broken off. So this is automatically telling you that these genetics are bridged over that of old genetics. The roots of ancient genetics. The dog is pushing off of broken tree trunk, telling you that it stopped there and it was broken off. There was a genetic bridging right there. That's what this represents. Now get this, people. This white dog is biting her on her right ass cheek. Oh no, her left ass cheek. Now check this out. On her right side, there is a black dog biting her on the opposite side. Now people, didn't I just tell you that this represented genes referencing that of our black and white ancestors, and how black actually came from white? Showing you that all of these genes, people, and even reptilian is represented here, Okay, and it's showing you this is representing blood. How these genetics were bridged, even with this horse, this animal, people, through these dogs. It is representing a new genetic bloodline being created. Now check this out. This guy here, he is the block. You see him holding the stick out with the fork on the end of the stick, meaning that these genetics were split. At this point, she comes in. These genetics are passed to him. Then they're split again. A new tree, a new genetic line is made. This guy picks up from that new genetic line, and then they're sent out to these people over here in the end. The contamination. Now, okay. Now you're saying, probably saying, wow, this is something. Look how these guys. This woman is being chased. The artist has this. This woman's being chased. Let me show you in the larger version. Why in the world would this woman being chased through the woods naked with two dogs biting on her, and these two guys are just looking down nonchalantly? You know why? Their heads are down in a bowing position, letting you know that her genetics are being bridged over them. This is why they are like dead in the artistry here. What in the world is going on? All of this confusion going on, and these people are not looking at them and with no facial expression or nothing, because she is being genetically bridged over top of them, and that's what the artist is showing them. That their presence is only for genetic bridging. And then if you look, check this out. There's the black dog, there's the white, and there's the black dog here reaching around her, biting on her, and then there's a white dog, showing that she's genetically bridged. She was broken down, and I'm gonna show you a face and a hair too, people. Now check this out. This first guy showing you that these black genes from this dog, after they were bridged with her, hit here first. Look, wrapped around his neck. Look at this, with the form of a bag, and they were slowed there. Through bridging through these two, look how it shows you that that bag became under control. That luggage from those black genes became under control, and now look, they're on the backpack right here. And then it shows you that they're continuously broken down. And that's what this is all about. All about ridding our ancestors of these black genes from out of our white counterparts' body. It was all about breaking down of genes. And that's what this is all stating in picture form. And this is what every Renaissance artist artwork is about. And I'm going to turn this over. I want to show you, first of all, two people before I get too ahead of myself. Notice that. Hold on, where's the larger picture? Notice that this woman is identical, the red hair and all, to this woman right here. It represents a period in time. Identical she is to her. And also, there's another famous biblical figure that is shown, that is through the historical moment of times, that actually looks just like her. And another one is Mary Magdalene. Okay, genetic bridging, people, is taking place now. And I got to turn this picture upside down to give you this next image. Oh, I didn't have to turn it upside down. Oh, so I know what this means. So you, all of you red-headed women out there, I know what your genetic makeup and presence represents. And there's a strong presence of that of our ancient ancestor within you. Your behavior, your everything about you is actually referenced in this image, and it tells you why you are who you are. But look at this redhead woman's face, and in the hair it shows you another face, and that is of the mother of creation. You see her face I highlighted there for you? There's two women there, not one but two. Look at that. Look at the woman's face right there, and I highlighted it. There's her chin, there's her nose, there's her cheekbone, there's her eye, and look how it shows you how these genetics were broken down. There's even a face down here, people, but this one here stands out and bites you. So if I'm showing you that this picture, and these are images that you can Google too, by the way, people. You see that? Look at that, people. Amazing, absolutely amazing. and it shows you that her genetics. They show you, and everybody knows that hair is a way of identifying you genetically with your bloodline, and that's what these Renaissance artists was actually telling us back then. Look at this, people. You see what is going on here? These artists knew our genetic bloodline. Can I show you that dog right there? Well, you be able to Google it. The black dog is wrapped around. As this dog is biting on the ass on this side, this dog is coming around. It shows you the breakdown of black and white genetics. Okay? This guy's the blocker. He has a fork in his hand. Look at this. Showing you that there's a bridging here, people. Look at this. All of this is representing bridging. This guy caught the black genes. Look, they were wild. They were running wild through the woods. Caught them. But look, the genes are running wild in her body. That's what this is all implying. Bang. Runs right then into this guy. Genetically bridged. The genes are captured. Then this guy and this guy tame those genes, those black genes, and now they're on the shoulder pad. Showing you that through this body, they were still wild. There was a genetic bridging, okay? It shows through the splitting of the trait, the ancient genetics, and look, they're contained. And now they're wearing the pack, showing you that these genes were contained. And then now look, well, you can't see them here. That the contamination goes out again, and it shows you where they just ultimately become controlled. And this is how we got our other likenesses of different people. Now, again, I need an expert to just explain. This was all just in layman's terms that I gave it to you, but just showing you that these different identifiers in these pictures. Now, this picture is identical. This controversial painting. This is our most talked about Renaissance artist, from what I understand, and most controversial painting. I can tell you that it represents lesbian acts, genetic bridging. It's a representation of black people. It shows us areas were contaminated. This is a representative of a native woman. Most of y'all be able to identify with the headdress of where this actually took place at, on which continent. But it's telling you that there was a genetic time, even in her clothing, people. There are faces which were harder for you to see, but I do see them. I can show you how they shows where her hand lands at. It's right there on the face of a witch-like woman. There's other faces that show and evolve right across her chest, okay? And then through this body, I can show you all of that, people, and how these genetics were picked up genetically. Shows that sucking on, there was a person in between, a native person, that engaged this woman in a homosexual act, just like Queen Esther. That and a lot of her paintings show the same exact thing, where you see these slave women engaging the homosexually the person that they're supposed to be serving. You'll see a lot of that in them. And one of the paintings that come to mind is that of Queen Esther. And it shows you these native women, how these genetics were broken down. They have a slave on one side and a slave on the other side. It shows you how they were, and the person in the middle is actually being bridged. They're bridging and breaking down these genes, these black genes, people, these reptilian genes, this unison of genes, this new cocktail of genes through this cauldron-like way of new creation. I mean, it's a cocktail chemistry, okay? And all of these new genes are broken down. They engaged over here with their ancient rooted counterparts. They're excluded out of the picture. Then it becomes, you'll start seeing this cocktail, this brewery of the whiter skins, the different hair colors, and all of that, showing you how these genes were broken down, people. And then it comes out to this likeness over here, and this guy is showing you that, hey, look, there's a new bloodline, and now look, he has the sword. He's going out to genetically splice the rest of these civilizations and these nations. This is what this is all about. All right. Now, the artist, my favorite part. Botticelli, in his earlier days, I'm telling you, I'm exposing him for being guilty of all. This is Botticelli made a painting of the Adoration of Maggie. And when I found out that he made a painting of the Adoration of Maggie, you know I decoded Da Vinci's Adoration of Maggie. So this is what helped me realize that Botticelli, instead of utilizing, in the end, what he ended up doing is, in a lot of his paintings, his oil painting, he actually used color codes, which represented bloodlines. So he went away from showing the um, the images. Okay, even though he does still he shows them, but he does it in a way that you possibly could never see. But I'm going to give you one here, a couple. This is a self-portrait of Botticelli, or this is a possible self-portrait, because he's actually painted the Adoration of Maggie of his own. So they're assuming that he painted himself. So, but look at this in his hair. Look at this creature. First of all, let's look at this creature as it has for its two faces. This is in his own hair now, people. This creature has an elongated head, and it has a lizard-like mouth down at the bottom. It shows this is the mouth, this is the bottom lip, there's the mouth opening, there's the top lip, there's a nostril, and then it goes into an eye and a head. A lizard-like creature right there. But then you split the bottom off, it becomes twofold. And there's the head of a demonic-like figure with a horn on it. See that, people? I'm going to bring it in closer for you to actually see that I draw it for you. This is in his head, people. Then if you start looking at the other images morphing that, you will see the bloodlines from which were created that actually calls for the likeness of Botticelli, just like which is in his painting. And on each lock of this hair, there's 1, 2, 3. You will see likenesses of creatures from which he genetically evolved, which calls for his likeness. And Botticelli is telling you what his bloodline is based on that. So where did all of this come from? All you have to do is just follow the locks of hair. And when this image is viewed in its smallest state, you will actually see the likeness of an ape here. And then here is the likeness of another creature, okay, which is actually the mother of creation. But you will see that it is almost in like a lion's face. I don't know if you can actually see that, showing you that there was a genetic bridging, people, with different creatures that broke down the likenesses of our original ancestor, which was the ape, black man. And it shows you through which genes and which genetic bridgings happened, which later calls for the likeness of our artists, our controversial artists, our most discussed about controversial artists in our world, Botticelli. And I can tell you which genetic bloodlines he is, because he is guilty as charged as just like Rembrandt, just like Michelangelo, just like Leonardo da Vinci. These people, these artists, all evolved from a time when these encryption styles were in their artworks. And to today, people, I can show you this stuff is still existing, it's still happening in artwork today. That is actually being commercialized. It's on TV, it's in our movies, it's everywhere. It's in products that you buy into the store, at your local stores, and take home. It's in your blankets, it's in everything. And it's more targeted so at stuff dealing with kids, with children, that this stuff is actually in there. I found a lot of it to be in Disney products. People, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But this is what our existence is all about, and I want to thank my my Jordanian friend for bringing this artist to my attention. It was difficult at first when I just looked at the image, but as always, once I focused my attention on it, and I went back, I had to go back first. You know, to understand this, you have to understand the artist. So in understanding the artist, you go back into his earliest works. His earliest works would project the likenesses and the images and the encryptions of all of those that he was mentored from, his art school. And then you take that and then look at his paint, the evolutionary of his paint styles. And then you can come up to his last paints, which actually starts using different encryption styles and color codes and representations which he borrowed from other artists and actually just capitalized on them and actually just took in and in other words, perfected them. So this is nothing once you understand who he really is and where he really evolved from, which is from our ancestry of that of the ape. Look at this image in thumbnail size. This ape appears, you will see a face there. You will start seeing the evolutionary chain of these faces coming across, and I can tell you what these creatures are. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel, And I want to thank my Jordanian friend for actually taking and bringing this back to my this artwork to my attention, this artist rather to my attention. And this is the last image that I'm going to put up. And here you should see this boy depicted here, showing you now that he is proudly in his hand. See this cult-like image here, this stick, how he has contaminated. Well, he's got taken this cult-like tool here, which is a stick, and how he's now contaminating the rest of the tree of life. Look at this. You see that? How he's branching off, how he's contaminated, and how he's now has the key to all of everything that you've seen, based on leaving from back here. My name is Gerone Wright. You're watching my Geronification channel. Genetic manipulation and bridging is what it's all about, people. And who you are, where you came from, and how you got the look that you have. Your genetic bloodlines can all be traced back and rooted to what is happening here. You can also catch me on alien UFOs. Alright? So, with that, people, I'm going to start my day off, and thank you for viewing.